Deep dive into workflow automations. So, hey, welcome back. If you have made it to this far, congratulations. You are officially ready to level up your automation game in Go High Level. Today, we are going deep into the world of workflow automations. We are talking triggers, actions, and decision trees. Oh my god. Now, if you're wondering what exactly are multi step workflows, or how can I make my automations smarter and more personalized, don't worry. By the end of this video, you will not only know what all these fancy terms mean, but you will be a workflow wizard ready to build like a pro. Okay, so let's get started with the basics. What is a workflow in Go High Level? Think of it like a recipe. You have got your ingredients as well as triggers and actions, and your recipe steps are the logic of what happens and when. For an example, a workflow could be as simple as a trigger, when that is somebody fills out a form on your landing page, and the action that they get an automated welcome email. But we're not talking about this simple one. We are going to create a multi-step workflow that reacts based on what your contacts do or don't do. So are you ready for this step-by-step example of creating a workflow? Jump onto my Go High Level screen. So that's the automation tab, and you click on create workflow and start from scratch. Now when you do this, you name the work. The first thing that you do is you name the workflow. That's essential so that later when you come back, you can recall, okay, this is the workflow for this particular purpose. Now here it is. The first step is to add a new trigger. The new trigger could be a form submitted. Then you need to select the form. The form is the form that you created on your landing page. So let's say this is the form trigger. So I created a form trigger. Now whenever somebody submits this form, this workflow gets triggered. So what happens next? They get an email. So I click on email. I write the from name, from email, congratulations and welcome. We come to, so we can also personalize this by adding the first name of the contact who submitted the name. Similarly here, hello, first name and the body, and then the thanks and Sawan. We click on save action. Now the first part of the workflow is done, the trigger and the action. Now we get into the complex part, that is making a decision on if somebody opened the email or did not open the email. Now, there could be two scenarios, right? And you would want to act differently in either of the scenarios. So if somebody opened the email, you would want them to continue into the workflow and send them the next set of information that you want. Or if somebody did not open the email, you would want to remind them to open the email and tell them that there is something important inside the email. So let's find out how do we do that. So to do that, the first thing that we do is we wait. We cannot do this immediately, right? So we wait for a day or two and give the person some time to, okay, check out his email. So for this, we first add an action called wait. And wait for what? Wait for the email to be opened. So what is that? The email event. Select a step. We click on email. And select the email event. Now the email event could be opened, clicked, unsubscribed, complained, or bounced. I say email event to be opened. And I click on save action. So I click on timeout to say, okay, I want this to wait for 2 days, and click on save the action. Now, what will happen when the email is opened, or what will happen after 2 days if the mail is not opened? So that is one automatic trigger, that condition that it created. The other way of doing this is we go back to wait and we remove the timeout. Okay. So now whenever the email is opened, people are moved to the next steps. So the next steps could be sending an email again. So this could be an email 2, an email 3, and so on. The other option that you have here is I come back to wait, I go for the timeout, I select 2 days and click on save action. So if the email is opened, these are the next steps, so we can send the next email. And if the email is not opened, we send them a reminder, say a reminder, urgent information inside, or something like this, and we save the action. Now that's how you are creating 2 options that leads to a decision being made whether the email was opened or email was not opened, and accordingly you prepare the next steps. So that's the most basic decision making thing that you are doing in your workflow. So that's it for this deep dive into workflow automations. You are now equipped to create powerful multi-step automations that can save you tons of time and boost your results. So you can actually do a lot more inside it by looking at the different options that are available here. So you can look at, if you click on the plus sign, you can see the various options that are available here. You can also send an SMS, you can schedule a call, you can send a DM, you can send an Insta Messenger, send internal notification to yourself, send a review request, and all of that. So we'll be talking about a lot of these things in the later sections. But yeah, no matter how complicated you want the workflow to be, GoHighLevel is prepared for that.